The rain drummed against the windows of the small duplex as Sarah stared at her phone, her hands trembling as she composed what felt like the most important text message of her life. At 29, she had been a single mother to 5-year-old Lucy and 3-year-old Ben for 2 years, ever since their father had walked out without warning or support. The eviction notice on her kitchen table gave her 3 days to come up with $800 in back rent, and she had exhausted every option she could think of. Her last hope was reaching out to her ex-husband's brother Michael, who had always been kind to the children and might be willing to help for their sake. With shaking fingers, Sarah typed, "Michael, I know we haven't talked since David left, but I'm desperate. The kids and I are about to be evicted. If there's any way you could help with rent money, I promise I'll pay you back. Lucy starts kindergarten next month, and I can't bear the thought of them being homeless. Please." She double-checked the number she had found in her old contacts and hit send, then immediately buried her face in her hands, overwhelmed by the humiliation of having to beg for help. 20 minutes later, her phone rang. The number looked familiar, but the voice that answered wasn't Michael's. "Hello, is this Sarah?" "Yes, this is Sarah. I'm sorry, I think I may have sent you a text by mistake." "You did, but I'm glad you did. My name is Jonathan Reed. I received your message about your children and your housing situation." Sarah felt mortified. "Oh God, I'm so sorry. I was trying to reach my former brother-in-law. Please just delete the message and forget you ever saw it." "Sarah, wait. Before you hang up, can I ask you something? Are you really about to be evicted with 2 young children?" Something in his voice made Sarah pause. There was no judgment, only concern. "Yes, but that's not your problem. I made a mistake." "Maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe it was meant to happen. Can you tell me your address?" Sarah's maternal instincts kicked in. "I'm not giving my address to a stranger. You're absolutely right to be cautious. Let me explain who I am, and then you can decide if you want my help." Over the next few minutes, Jonathan explained that he was the CEO of Reed Construction, a company that specialized in affordable housing development. He had lost his own father at a young age and understood what it meant to watch a parent struggle, to keep a family together. "Sarah, I'd like to come over and talk to you about your situation. I'll bring my business card and references, and we can meet on your front porch where you'll feel safe." Something about his voice convinced Sarah to agree. An hour later, she stood on her porch holding Lucy and Ben close as a black sedan pulled into her driveway. The man who got out was tall and well-dressed, but his expression was kind rather than intimidating. He approached slowly, keeping his hands visible and his voice gentle. "Sarah, I'm Jonathan. These must be Lucy and Ben." Lucy, naturally shy, hid behind Sarah's legs, while Ben clutched his stuffed fox and stared at the stranger with wide eyes. "Mr. Reed, I appreciate you coming, but I can't accept charity from someone I don't know." Jonathan nodded respectfully. "I understand. But what if I told you this wasn't charity? What if I told you I had a legitimate job offer that could solve your housing problem and give you a stable income?" Sarah looked skeptical. "What kind of job?" "I've been looking for someone to manage the family services program for our affordable housing developments. Someone who understands what families in crisis actually need, not what social workers think they need. I don't have experience in social services. I'm a part-time bookkeeper. But you have experience being a single mother fighting to keep her family together. You understand the practical challenges these families face because you're living them." Lucy tugged on Sarah's sweater. "Mama, is he here to help us?" Jonathan knelt down to Lucy's eye level. "I hope so, sweetheart. Your mama sent a message asking for help, and I think maybe I'm supposed to be the person who helps." "Are you going to make us move away?" Ben asked, his voice small and worried. "Actually, Ben, I'm hoping to help you stay right here. This is your home, isn't it?" Over the next hour, Jonathan explained his offer. Sarah would coordinate support, services for families in his housing developments, helping them access resources like childcare, job training, and educational programs. The position came with a salary that would easily cover her rent, plus benefits including health care. Jonathan, this sounds too good to be true. Why would you offer a job to someone you met through a wrong number text? Jonathan was quiet for a moment, watching Lucy and Ben play with toys on the porch. Because 5 years ago, my company evicted a single mother with 3 children. It was legal, it was business, but it was wrong. I've regretted it ever since. What happened to that family? They ended up in a shelter for 6 months before finding stable housing. The children missed school, the mother lost her job, and it took them years to recover. Jonathan's voice carried genuine remorse. Your text reminded me that behind every eviction notice is a family trying to survive. Sarah studied his face, seeing sincerity rather than pity. You're serious about this job offer? Completely serious. I need someone who can help families navigate crises because they've successfully navigated their own. 3 months later, Sarah sat in her new office at Reed Construction, reviewing applications for the Emergency Assistance Fund she had helped establish. Her work connecting families with resources had already prevented dozens of evictions and helped parents find stable employment. Jonathan stopped by her office that afternoon, carrying the quarterly report that showed exceptional results from her program. Sarah, the Henderson family wanted me to thank you personally. Your help getting their daughter into the after-school program meant the mother could take that evening job. That's what we're here for. Every family deserves a chance to succeed. Jonathan smiled, understanding that Sarah's wrong number text had led to the most meaningful program his company had ever implemented. The board wants to expand the family services program to all our properties. That's wonderful. How many families will that help? Over 300, initially. And Sarah, they want you to head the entire regional program. Sarah felt tears of gratitude and amazement. Jonathan, 6 months ago I was about to be homeless. Now I'm in a position to prevent other families from going through the same thing. That night when I got your text, I thought it was a random mistake. Now I think it was exactly what both of us needed. Lucy and Ben, now thriving in their stable home and excellent schools, often visited Sarah's office after school. They had come to see Jonathan as a sort of uncle figure, someone who had appeared in their lives when they needed help most. Mr. Jonathan, Lucy said one afternoon as she colored at Sarah's desk. Mama says you got her message by accident. That's right, Lucy. Sometimes the most important things happen by accident. I don't think it was an accident, Lucy said seriously. I think you were supposed to get it. Jonathan exchanged a smile with Sarah, understanding that a desperate mother's plea sent to the wrong number had created exactly the right solution for everyone involved. Sarah had found not just financial stability, but meaningful work that utilized her experience to help other families. Jonathan had discovered that the most successful business decisions often came from following his conscience rather than just his spreadsheets. The wrong number had connected 2 people who needed each other, a mother who understood the struggles of families in crisis, and a businessman who wanted to ensure his company truly served the community rather than just extracting profit from it.